Welcome to Surfside Stories. Today I am very, very lucky to have here in the studio with me an original member of North Tower. Now this has been like 45 years ago, best I can tell, and it is quite a history, and I learn every time I talk to this guy. So I finally said, look, Gary Dennis, who is here with me, I said, I want to hear these stories, and I want to put them out so the public can hear them. He has some great stories about how the North Tower got started, how he's worked with them, and where they are. Now, we know where they are today. Let's talk about how North Tower got started, how you were involved with them, and your time with the North Tower. Gary, glad to have you with us, brother.
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it, man.
Take it away, brother.
Okay, North Tower's beginning. And I know that some people are not going to like this, but it started at the University of North Carolina. Chapel Hill, go Heels. Three of us were roommates our freshman year. Lowell Ball, Alan Meisenheimer, and myself. And all of us loved music, but I think one of the guys, maybe Alan, one day just opened up with the song from Oklahoma. Oklahoma, da, da, da. And Lowell grabbed a part, I grabbed a part, and we had 3-part harmony there. We were like, wow, this sounds pretty good. And so
just out of the blue.
Just out of the blue, 3 of us roommates that first year, and we ended up just messing around with music. We said, all we need is a bass singer to complete a quartet. So we were living in Old East Dormitory. Old East Dormitory is the oldest public university in the nation. It's so old that they're in towers.
Okay.
We lived in the North Tower of Old East Dormitory. So we were not real inventive on our name. We just said, let's just call ourselves the North Tower Quartet. We recruited this little guy, I think you saw him in Topsail, Tom Ed White, to come join us.
Yes.
He lived in the South Tower. So we brought him over. He sang bass.
He's good.
He's even smaller than me. And we became the North Tower Quartet.
Okay.
And that's how we kind of performed around the Chapel Hill, the campus, and different sororities and everything as an a cappella quartet. We're almost like a joke, really. They have big bands and everything, and then they say, well, let's bring on this quartet, and we seem to go over for some reason. So in the meantime, while this was going on, I get a call from a high school friend of mine called Bud Hanson, and he says, I'm in this band in Raleigh called Carolina Trace, and we need a drummer. At that time, it was Doug Manning, Buddy Hanson, a guy named Bill Brooks, and they were doing a lot of America, Eagles sort of stuff, and they wanted a drummer, and Buddy and I had been in a band in high school. I played drums. He said, why don't you come on over and just sit in? And I did, and boy, I loved their sound, and it was just, there was just an instant mix there. So I was doing Carolina Trace. We were doing some jobs in Raleigh, and then I was doing North Tower Band, or North Tower Quartet in Chapel Hill, and trying to keep up my studies, and I wasn't doing a very good job at that. And so we decided, I'm going to cut the story down shorter, but we decided
as long
that
as you need it. We want to hear the details.
Okay, well,
we got time. You do the details, brother.
The details. Doug and I were out one evening at a club listening to and Doug, you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong here. Was it the Spontanes or the Sponge Stones? Anyway, they were doing a floor show called Harley Hog and the Rockers. It was a 50s show.
Okay.
Do all the doo-wop stuff, and boy, it was hilarious. And we were sitting there watching that, and we just said, you know what, we could do that, because the quartet was already doing a lot of sha-na-na 50s type music.
Okay.
And so we said, yeah, we could do that. And so at the time in Carolina Trace, we just recently hired a brass section, trumpet and saxophone. They weren't really, they liked to party more than be serious with music. So we kind of decided if we got rid of those guys and brought in the quartet, and Anthony Tart, who you also met.
Yes. Nice.
He was running sound for us.
Nice doing.
Yeah, Anthony and I went to high school together. He was running sound for Carolina Trace, and we said, okay, if I go back on drums, then we're short a guy.
You go back on drums.
I go back on drums.
Carolina Trace.
Yeah.
Okay.
if I go back on drums from the quartet, we're short a quartet member. Well, Anthony's got a great harmony voice too.
Okay.
He just stepped in and filled my spot on the front, so we kept our 4 guys in the back, and then it was Doug Manning on guitar, Bill Brooks on bass, and then me on drums. And we said, hey, North Tower already had a little bit of traction as a name in the Chapel Hill area, and Carolina Trace wasn't hitting on much, and said, why don't we just drop the name Quartet and become North Tower? So that's how North Tower Quartet, Carolina Trace together became North Tower, the band.
You know, what I love is the fact you take a name just of a building where you live and make it an icon that 45 years later is still a name that everybody knows. That is awesome.
Yeah, we took a little bit of hit on 9/11 when the North Tower went down. Yeah. Some people were kind of disassociating that, but overall, it's kind of stood the test of time. And I mean, obviously, the band's still going strong, and I was just privileged to be a part of it. You know, back in the early days when we all.
Well, tell me some of the stories from things that happened back in those early days that you normally. What you can tell.
Okay.
We're go ahead.
Well, I got to put a shout out to my fiance who's here today as well. She's over there, but you can't see her.
Oh, we're glad to have Mary with us.
And I do have to say, before I don't say it, is that I've been out of music for about 45 years now. Well, 40 years. And she was really responsible for encouraging me to get back into it, and that's really why I've got some songs in the hopper that we hope to get produced and recorded here coming up soon. But
well, I'm going to interrupt you and say, whenever you walked up on the stage at SOS with North Tower just a few months ago, and you did Daydreamer, it brought the audience to their feet. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
And first time I'd ever seen you live. In fact, that's the first night I'd really met you.
Yeah.
And we've become good friends since then, and shared a lot of, but I haven't heard all the experiences yet. That's what I'm here for today.
Well, we're here mainly this weekend, and this is the first time that we've experienced this Cammy Award weekend, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
First time. So we were coming, the main reason for being here is for Larry Dean. Larry Dean Larry joined North Tower in 1980. Anthony Tart, and he went to school at Campbell College. And our original quartet member / keyboard player, Alan Meisenheimer, went into the Peace Corps. We were without a keyboard player.
Okay.
And Anthony says,
"This is the Alan from Concord, North Carolina."
Your hometown. We got to get you guys together. Okay. But Anthony says, "Hey, I know this phenom at Campbell College. He did a big Elton John show, and he was known for that. This routine that he did." And he says, "Man, he'd be a perfect fit." So he talked to him. Larry was, I don't know if he was dating or married. I think he was dating at the time, Sharon, his wife, who passed away several years ago, tragically, unfortunately. But she encouraged him to give it a shot. And so Larry came aboard, and one of the stories was his very first job. We'd played a job, I believe, in Hickory or somewhere. And our next job was supposed to be up in Lafayette, Indiana. So we thought. And so I don't know if I volunteered, but I decided, or they said, "Hey, Gary, go to Raleigh, pick up Larry. We're going to head on from," maybe it was Hickory. We'll meet you up in Lafayette, Indiana. You go pick up Larry. So I went, got Larry. We drove his brand new Honda. Larry, was it a Honda? I don't remember. And all I can say is Gary was shelling peanuts and throwing them down on the shells down on my brand new floorboard. But we traveled, I mean, it was a long trip. We get there, and the guys had already gotten there to the location that they thought they were supposed to be at. They couldn't find the club. So Bob Craig, another very early member of the North Tower Band, got on the phone with the agent, and he says, "Hey, we're here in Lafayette, Indiana, and we can't find the club." And he woke the guy up, the agent up, and he said, "Wait a minute, where'd you say you are?" He said, "Lafayette, Indiana." And he heard him shuffling some papers around. He said, "Guys, you're supposed to be in Lafayette, Louisiana." So I'm not sure how all that happened, but obviously we didn't make the show. But that was Larry's first experience with North Tower.
The wrong place.
And he was thinking, after that, he's thinking, oh my gosh, I said, have I made a mistake? You know? But somehow we ended up, I believe we ended up going from there back to Hickory and staying with our bass player, Big John Smith's dad. And he said, hey, you know, you guys can practice here in the garage, because we're trying to work Larry in and everything. And he said, come on in. He says, the only thing is I want you to play for the women's auxiliary on Sunday afternoon. They meet at his house. And
Okay.
so our first job with Larry was for this little group of older ladies sitting out in little chairs, listening to us play. And that was kind of the beginnings of working Larry into the band. And, you know, obviously.
So how many did you have in the band at that time?
At that time, when we went full-time on the road, there were 6 of us.
Okay.
Larry on keyboards, Bob Craig on saxophone, Anthony Tart on trumpet, Doug Manning on guitar, Big John Smith on bass, and I was on drums. And
Okay.
that was after kind of the quartet guys who'd come on to begin with. Each one of them had left. Lowell Ball left for law school. Tom Ed White left. He was the first to leave. He left to pursue music. And then Alan Meisenheimer went into the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
So the first full-time group, we went full-time in 1980.
Okay.
There were 6 of us.
Okay.
And then over the next year or so, our agent at the time, Jack Stallings, it was originally Fisher and Stallings.
Okay.
Jack went on his own, and he had the fantastic Shakers at the time as an exclusive group, and he was courting us pretty hard. He wanted kind of another, you know, anchor band, and we were being courted by some of the other agencies. Well, all of them really, because that's what they did. You know, they tried to get bands on their list, and something about Jack, sitting down and talking with him and hearing his vision and his heart, and we felt like we just wouldn't be another number. We would really be, because the Shakers already were a feather in his cap, and that was like, wow, if he's got the Shakers, he must be doing something right. So we went with Jack, and Jack was with the Catalinas. So he had that experience behind him. And the first thing he told us is, guys, I'm going to put you on the road for 6 months in the hotel circuit. Okay. You're going to play 6 nights a week, nonstop. And he said, I'm doing this so that you can hone your music, but most of all, develop a floor show. Because at the time, floor show bands were the really big thing.
Okay.
He says, I want you to develop because we already had a 50 show. We called it Tom Ed White, the little bass player, and the Mighty Mighty Comets. That was it. And we did a bunch of Sha Na Na songs. But he said, you know, expand it, develop a floor show, and then at the end of 6 months, you're going to hate me. But he says, then I'll be ready to put you in some of the bigger venues and the bigger clubs and the festivals and corporate events and what have you. He said, but you're going to have to pay the price for 6 months. So we did, and we all hated him at the end of 6 months. But in his wisdom, he knew exactly what he was doing. And he could not have been a better fit for us as a manager, a mentor, and just an all-around great guy. His wife Donna, his sister Diane, that team, they were almost like our extended family. And that's really how we cut our teeth.
Well, how much traveling, how large was that hotel circuit? Some of the cities, where are some of the cities you had to go to?
Well, Myrtle Beach, we played quite a bit, like at the Landmark. We played Asheville, in on the Plaza, the Holiday Inn, North Myrtle Beach, Holiday Inn North, the Holiday Inns, the Ramadas, the Sheratons. And we weren't in the clubs yet because, you know, back in the 80s, there was a very thriving club market. I mean, dance clubs. Yeah. And here at Myrtle Beach, they're still around, but for the most part, they're gone. And so that's what he wanted to do, was get us out of the hotel circuit more into the clubs and the bigger. Okay. And so we finally did that. And the other thing he says, guys, I know you don't want to be labeled a beach band, but you need to write a beach song. He says, let me promote it. And
Right?
Right.
Okay.
So really the first song, I know a lot of times they say Daydreamer was kind of our first song, but the first song that really put us on the map was a song called Looking Forward to June. And we wrote that in 1980.
Looking forward to
June.
June.
Like
Okay.
June, the month of June.
Gotcha.
And we did that. Jack, distributed it, the old-fashioned way back then,
Yeah.
mailing and taking records, and that kind of got us exposed in the beach market crowd.
Okay.
So we could kind of tailor. We knew enough music to where if we needed to play more dance music, we did that. Or
Now, did you write this Looking Forward to June, or did you?
Doug,
find it?
Anthony, and I wrote Looking
Oh,
Forward to
okay.
June.
Good.
And then the flip side was 1, 2, 3 Kind of Love by Wild Cherry.
Oh, wow. I remember that.
Yeah, we kind of did a North Tower slant
Arrangement,
on that. Yeah. It actually turned out, it's one of my favorite songs actually that we did. But so that was kind of our introduction into, with Jack's persistence, getting us into the beach music arena.
Yeah.
And we never, it's kind of funny, we never really embraced the beach music mantra, but at the same time, that ended up being the bread and butter. And to this day, that's really the market that North Tower has landed on, is because the same people that are now coming to see them now, a lot of them were the same ones that came back in the early 80s. And they've stuck with it, like they have all the other bands, the Shakers and Entertainers and, all the groups, Band of Oz, they're kind of the OGs now in the market. And I think North Tower, with your help, I don't know how much you want to get into this, but I'm going to say it.
You go down whatever road.
Okay.
This is free territory for
Okay,
you.
so I don't know how transparent to be here. Well, I'm going to say it. I've been writing. Jeff Henson and I talk a lot. Jeff, sax player with North Tower. And of course, Larry is the
Very
one.
good frontman. He
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And first of all, props to Larry. We're here, of course, we're his Hall of Fame.
Oh, and just so you know, I've got Jeff lined up later to take apart here,
Great.
bring his
Great.
take into on North Towers.
Yes.
Go ahead, Austin.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if I finished my thought. We're here this weekend mainly for Larry Dean's induction into the Hall of Fame tonight. I know you're going to be there as well.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and then and there would not be a North Tower had Larry not persevered and held the band together. You know how bands are that have been around this long. Members come and go.
Yes.
And he's just ridden the wave of all that. And of course the loss of his wife, that, it still pains us because I know how much he loved her, but we're really, there is a brotherhood with this group that is hard to really put into words, that we're their biggest fans. I haven't been with the group since 1986, but I'm still one of their biggest fans.
I picked up on that.
Yeah, as are the other guys.
Yeah.
We are rooting for them. There's not this well, we don't want you to do better. No, we want them to the sky's the limit. So, I'm not saying anything I haven't had conversations with Larry and Jeff about. I just kind of felt like they were off the radar, like people kind of really not heard North Tower the way that they needed to.
They heard the name more than they had the band.
Yes, yeah, but it's like they weren't necessarily, feeling like the seats or coming out and supporting like just me personally felt like they should be.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, and I got to give props to Joe Salerno, the current bass player.
Yes.
He, kind of pushed.
Joe's one of a kind.
Yes, he is. Boy, he's just fun to watch.
He is, absolutely.
Joe, happy birthday, by the way, man. Joe, wanted to record, and they did a song called Backyard Party.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that really kind of got the juices flowing with the band to say.
But it got them back in the studio
Yeah, got
for
them
one
back
thing.
in the studio. And then as fate, a good fate would have it, you came along with Pretty Lady. And man, I'm going to tell you, that song has just catapulted the band. And I just want to thank you so much for what you've done in producing it, standing behind it.
Thank you, but I want to thank the band for all of what they've done. And I want to thank you personally. You have been an influence. You're constantly promoting. I look at the posts you do on Facebook and places. You're promoting the band with love and realism that it gives them heart. That
Yeah.
you feel the heart in your post for the band and for the beach music.
Well, they're like my brothers.
Yeah.
And when we had our last reunion, in fact, we got a 50-year reunion
Oh, wow.
coming up in 3 years.
I'll be there for that.
Yes, sir. if we all live that long. But there's a true brotherhood, and what is really neat now, and I was telling Marion this morning, is that she now has gotten to know some of the wives and everything, and it's become more like from the band of brothers to a band of family. And there is a true, sincere love between these guys. I mean, I love these guys, and I am so proud of what this song has done for them. And you were the impetus to push them. You heard the song, or I guess you said Debbie did.
Debbie, I was going to mention that. Debbie actually picked out the song. She said, I think this would be a great song to cover, to redo.
Yeah.
And we talked about who, and I said, well, I'm going to listen and find the right person. Whenever I was at SOS, last year I walked up on the stage after they finished, and Jeff's the first one I talked to. I introduced myself to him, went over to introduce myself to Larry. And they said, well, send it to us. Let's look at it. So I had 2 or 3 songs I sent them, knowing which one I wanted them to.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had an option.
Oh, they had options.
Really? Okay.
But they decided on the same song that I felt like. They said, this is a North Tower song.
Yeah.
And they went to the studio. Everybody sees what they did. We know why they're number one. And gosh, seeing them back on stage, having them back at the top of the line, I'm loving it. I'm loving it for the guys. And whenever I got to see you guys the other week up at Topsail Island and got to spend time with you, and I couldn't believe after doing that show, they all got their instruments after eating, and we started playing and singing again. And I got to sing with them.
Yes, you did. I got some of that on video. Too. I got to send you. What was neat about that night, and this is how gracious these guys are, is that I think I saw an eye roll or two. It's like, because my cousin Brenda, hey Brenda and Steve,
hey Brenda,
from Maryland came down, and we've been making Topsail kind of a tradition now for the last 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Is it 3 years? Yeah. And because we love that festival. And, North Tower has the Saturday night slot. Unfortunately, the weather has always been nice, but we've just started doing a little after party. And after those guys, you saw how much energy they put out for the time they performed, but then we asked them to play again because Steve brings, the keyboard and guitar and amps. And Tom Bagley, oh my gosh, what a hoot that guy is. He's a one-man show by himself.
He loves his music.
He did. And so after performing, we all got together afterwards at the house we had rented, and we just I hope you had a great time. But
it was.
It went on for about 3 hours.
We did. We sang everything from hymns to
classic beats.
Whatever. Yes.
Eagles and
yes, absolutely. And the camaraderie of the band, person to person, and quite honestly, the way they accepted me as part of the family was very warming, because it's a great bunch of guys. Absolutely, everybody in that group. I feel like it's a close friend.
Yeah. They're great people. Here's the thing that really touched me is that obviously they were tired, and each one kind of left and everything. The person that stuck around to the very end was Larry.
Yeah.
And he was driving back to Raleigh that night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I kept saying, he says, well, I'm going, and he brought a keyboard. You saw him.
Yeah, I saw him.
What a phenom he is.
The keyboard.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. I'm
yes,
sure.
It was.
But he said, okay, I got to go. I got to do one more, and then I got to go. And he'd do one more. He said, okay, I had one more. I got to go. After about 30 minutes of that, there was a handful of us left, and it touched my heart. I walked him down because he drove the band truck back to Raleigh.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? I really enjoyed this tonight. He says, because I don't get a chance to we just don't get a chance as a group to just jam. Because that's not what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just jamming. Everybody's jamming. And he said, I really enjoyed it. So for me, that really touched my heart, because I saw that it ministered to Larry. And again, he's the one that has held this group together. there would not be a North Tower without him. And I got to give props to what I call his right-hand man, Jeff Henson.
Yeah.
Jeff, 22 years, man. Been with North Tower. Every Larry Dean needs a Jeff Henson in the band. Jeff is the guy that is behind the scenes, coordinating, you know, if they need a replacement, if they have an issue. I mean, he's the guy he's like the glue for the band.
Well, I got to tell you this. I started off with Jeff with all this, sending him the song, picked it out in my car. Somewhere along the way, one day, I got a call from Larry. And we spent probably 40 minutes on the phone, our first conversation ever. And it's been a very warm conversation since then. Larry's a very, very warm person. Mm-hmm. And Jeff is just so organized.
Yeah.
I love what Jeff does for him. I love everybody in the band.
Well, and
I knew Stoudemire for years before I knew him back when he was with you the first time.
Yeah. I gave him a hard time. I think Jeff last time at Topsley he says he can't keep a job, but it's just an all good. But boy, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yes.
And so, you know, now Larry's going to be inducted. So North Tower has two guys on stage. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jeff and Tom Bagley, the others as well. But in terms of Tom Bagley, I mean, everybody in the group contributes.
Yes.
And Amy and Tom, you know, started the T-shirts. There's North Tower merchandise again. In fact, I was going to wear it, but I thought maybe that's a little overkill.
Well, I could have worn mine too.
Yeah, I know we should have coordinated that.
We should have.
Miriam wore hers on the flight. We came from Oklahoma, and she had hers on the plane. And
I bet she makes that shirt look good, doesn't she?
She makes it look very good. A lot better than I do. We try to advertise and promote the band every chance that we get. And
you do a great job of that.
Well, thank you.
You mean a lot to this band. And it's probably the kind of thing you don't get thank yous for. So I'm going to say thank you right now, because what you do for the band, seeing it as an outsider that has come into the family, I see what you do, what you mean to them. And it's probably a lot more than you realize, brother.
No, I just do it from a place of love for them, for the tradition. You know, I can honestly say now, for the legacy of the band that's lasted this long. I mean, there's a lot of bands. There's a handful of bands now that have lasted. You know this, and this is a concern.
I only know three is all I can think of at the moment. But
well, the Entertainers.
Yeah, they started about the same time. Yes.
Band of Oz, of course.
Embers.
The Embers.
And North Tower.
And I guess there's a version of the Chairman still out there.
Well, yeah, with Kid Knox, yeah, so to speak, yes.
But yeah, it's dwindling. Catalinas and Castaways. Some of them. My concern, though, Wayne, is, are we mentoring the younger generation? What is this industry going to be like 10, 15 years from now?
Excellent question. That's been one of the things that I have felt like from the day I started Ocean Drive Productions with Melissa. We want to get younger people involved. Cole, that we spent some time with last night, is doing a really good job of bringing them in. But I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
What is beach music?
To me?
To you, yeah. What is beach music?
I think beach music is a lifestyle, quite honestly.
Okay. And why?
Well,
and what is that lifestyle?
Well, just being down here and seeing the way that the community is a community to me, of people that, I think, me personally, it has its roots really in soul. I mean, if I had another life, I would have been black probably, because I love funk, I love soul, and I think that that's the old rhythm and blues, that's where it kind of got its start, and it's kind of evolved over the years. But to me, beach music, I had this discussion with a friend recently. He says, you know, there's beach music, and then there's shaggy music.
Okay, yes.
Music that you can shag to is not necessarily the old school rhythm and blues that I would think would be more the authentic, you know, beach music.
Yeah.
I mean, what
I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, I understand that.
So
you got the beat for a minute that you got to beat for shagging, but there's other really good songs that are a little slower and a little faster.
Right, and but I think just seeing the people that have come down here, the camaraderie, and just the common love for this music, they don't want it to die. And my concern is, if we're not mentoring younger people now the younger musicians, I'm scared, should I say scared, concerned what it's going to be like 10, 15 years from now. What is what we are seeing this weekend going to look like?
Well, I really think, and I'll throw this in, if our DJs that are out playing, and I'll use, for example, there's a group of DJs that's about 360 large. If they continue to play the new music, promote the new music, and if there is anything for use to put it out there, I think the DJs are going to have a great influence on keeping the beach music alive.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of them for what they do, and I just hope they continue and expand.
Yeah. We, back in the early days, there were so many groups like North Tower that were kind of getting, but we were all young.
Yeah.
And we were in the fraternities and the sororities, and it seemed like that age group really gravitated to it. And I've been away for so long now, I'm not really sure that younger core of, the big core of younger people are still there, because I think we related because we were young, so we were related to a young crowd. The older the beach groups have gotten now, I hope we're not leaving the younger ones behind. It's just, it's too much a part of the Carolinas, you know.
Absolutely right, and it's something we do have to pay attention to. And would you believe our 30 minutes is already up?
I'm not surprised at all. Hey, can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
And this goes out to, we talked about, I want to make sure I mentioned the current lineup.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
band. Larry
Please
Dean,
do.
of course. Jeff Henson, 22 years. Tom Bagley, Mr. Entertainment, Mr. Energy.
Always a smile.
Yeah, man. He's, like I said, he's a one-man show. Jim Stoudemire, the veteran, was with North Tower, left, was with the Entertainers. Fat Amos, that jokingly said Elvis Presley. But he's back. And Joe Salerno from Topsail, and Patrick Brown, who also does a lot of the graphics now on the North Tower website and everything.
Patrick,
Those guys,
together, he's good.
yeah. And so to the current North Tower guys, love you. And Pretty Lady, man, I cannot be prouder of you and this guy right here for what you guys have done with that song. So keep it up, and we'll see you at Fat Emmons tomorrow night.
All I did was make the offer. They took it and ran with it, and they came out with a great product. They did all the work. They went in the studio and did it. Because they're a great band, they delivered a great product. And the people of the beach music world are recognizing that. And that's the reason it stays at number one. But the people love it.
They're back.
They're back. They're back. Thanks again, everyone. I tell you what, gosh, I'm enjoying this. Can't wait to get Jeff in here and get his take on the last 20 years now. We'll see you again next week. Go to surfsidestories.com and you can hear the audio, or you can go over to YouTube, or you can get the video, or you can now go to Beach Music TV live on Roku and also see it. So always come back. Next week we'll have another show. And thank you again, Gary.
Thank you, Wayne.
It's been awesome having you here
Thank
today.
you so much. Appreciate it, man.
See everyone next week.